woman was immediately put on a pedestal and everything that she said was believed. People have taken everything that she said as gospel and as truth because a lot of you want someone to hate, and it's easy for you guys to hate Tommy.
That may very well be true. There are a lot of people in girl world who just want to be mad, who will believe any outlandish thing because it makes one of the girls look bad. For sure. Definitely. However, this is not a reaction channel she's talking about that has a tendency to make wild claims or baseless allegations. This is a channel that I trust to do their due diligence, do the best they can to vet their sources, make sure that they are getting the best information. And, you know, there's a fine line between proving that and doxing the source. So I also understand why that channel is playing certain cards very close to their chest. That seems very fair. At a certain point with this stuff, you just have to decide who you think is more believable in this instance. And I know who I think is more believable.
For whatever reason. You guys don't know her in person like I do, and I'm telling you, she is lovable and likable, and I am happy and in love with her.
Y'all don't know the real her, just like we don't know the real Amber. Whenever it gets really bad and she has absolutely nothing, no receipts, no way to really prove anything, it just comes down to you don't know the real blank. Of course, we don't know her in person. We don't know Emily in person. So that's always going to be true. But at a certain point, we see enough that we have a pretty good idea.
And I know a lot of people want to like twist this like really dark narrative, but I'm telling you, it's not real. So I'm sorry I couldn't be like a little more put together, and I'm sorry that I'm bad with my words. The fact that I have to literally look like this and read to you guys, but it's what is gonna work best for me, which I have done this before, and it's usually only during like super like anxiety inducing situations for me. And I do it in my real life as well. There are a multitude of times in my life where instead of like speaking to someone, I will write something and then I'll read it off to them. It's helpful, it's therapeutic. I learned it years and years ago, actually in therapy, probably like when I was like 17 or something. And ever since then, it has greatly helped me. But I am sorry that I will be facing this way the whole time. But yeah, please hear me. Like, please hear me. I know there's a difference between like listening to someone and that's that, goes in one ear and out the other. And
I just want to point out that we are currently already a few minutes into what is a 12-minute video to address the actual allegations about Emily versus the 23-minute video called Addressing Everything that we got a couple days ago that answered nothing.
You build your assumptions and you don't really care, but like, I need you guys to hear what I am saying, please. I truly hate that I have to do this. I want my channel to reflect what's real in my life and not constantly having to make videos like this, defending Tommy's character because of a reaction channel who is so hungry for views and money and hot tea that they have created a whole false storyline that has thousands and thousands of people believing it. It's unfair to me, and it's unfair to Tommy. This is not the first time this reaction.
And let's be fair though, it's believable. It's not as though people are believing something that is completely off the wall, completely outlandish, completely out of left field, sounds made up. Based on everything that we do know, it's believable.
Channel has done this. They have platformed a few people as long as they were willing to spill tea and share whatever could cause me or other people in my life to look bad for their benefit. There have been some serious misrepresentations made in a recent video on that reaction channel about an extremely painful chapter in Tommy's life. The video, which talks about a domestic violence situation involving Tommy and her ex, fails to include important facts, so it paints a false and harmful narrative. And I want to be very clear. Tommy is the victim here, not the one at fault. The details in the video were based on inaccurate and incomplete information from a third party with a clear agenda. Someone who has openly stated that their goal was to get revenge for their own personal reasons, and even admitted that they've tried to get revenge in the past. This kind of victim shaming is not only misleading, it's downright disgusting. It wasn't a simple incident in a garage. As you can see from the charges listed about Tommy's ex, there was a weapon involved. A weapon. Please just think about that for a minute. With multiple ways to escape a garage, Tommy couldn't. Think about why. The truth is that her abuser was charged with felony charges for their actions, and Tommy has spent years working on healing and working through trauma her ex caused. A lot of people are saying that Tommy must have provoked her into holding her hostage with a weapon for hours. If that were true, Tommy's ex would not have been convicted. Provoking someone or self-defense, it would not have gotten her ex convicted for the millionth time, period. It's incredibly hurtful to see the narrative twisted in this way, and I feel compelled to speak out because no one should ever be made to feel like they are the perpetrator when they are the victim. Domestic violence is a serious issue, and we should be lifting up those who have suffered, not blaming them. I stand by Tommy because I know the full story, and I've known the full story the whole time.
Yeah, I can definitely see why people are suspecting ChatGPT, or at the very least suspecting that Amber did not fully write this.
These people have decided to leave out, and I quote, "I don't want to go into details." That is what this person said when talking about Tommy being falsely imprisoned by her ex. Why? Why? Because it would leave people empathizing with Tommy. Instead, this person has exaggerated, lied, left out important information, and continues to create outrage against Tommy because they want revenge. This is the only way they know how to do it, and I want to make something very clear, that the abuse that Tommy endured is real, and she deserves justice and support, not ridicule and not doubt. She definitely does not deserve a reaction channel making a spectacle over something that Tommy has spent years trying to heal from. Having this come to light, speculated about, and joked about has left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'll tell you that for sure. I have been distant from YouTube already due to the harsh things that have been said and have been lied about. Certain reaction channels have only gotten worse as this.
So what is it? Is it your mental health? Is it harassment from YouTube? Is it not having anything going on? What is with this whole "I'm distant from YouTube"? Come on. This just sounds like Lecturelynn trying to do some reversal on this that really just, I don't know if it adds up.
Time goes on. My channel has been boring. It went through a law, so they've been starving. Because of that, they've lost their minds, and they're actively painting a narrative about Tommy that isn't real. Bringing in anonymous strangers to the storyline and believing every word that is being said, all while using the word allegedly. So YouTube terms of service isn't broken by them, and so the law doesn't get involved for actual slander and defamation. If you guys ever wanted to know what slander and defamation looks like,
I mean, that's fair enough, and that's why this is all alleged. But I am inclined to believe that the source that this is coming through is the kind of source that would do the best they could to vet their source before they put something this grim, this dark out there. Of course, again, it's all alleged, but I'm inclined to believe the reaction channel on this one. Given everything that we do already know, it does make it believable. I'm sorry, I said what I said. And the fact that Amber can't own up to that portion of it really makes the rest of this feel like gaslighting, because at no point is she ever really grappling with what we can't really avoid about Emily, which is the situation with her previous fiance, everything that happened there. I'm not going to get into the details right now because I think we all pretty much know as far as her participation in the content they created. That happened. The digital footprint of that is unavoidable. And if she can't address that head on and really be honest about it and grapple with that, then everything that follows suit defending Emily just feels like gaslighting. I'm sorry.
It has been months and months of what Tommy has been experiencing since certain reaction channels found out who she was. This has altered Tommy's life, and I have witnessed it. It has also altered mine. Without revealing how, I'm pretty sure it's apparent. Imagine something like this happening to you. Thank you to those who have been
And the fact that Emily is never the one out here addressing these things, not that I necessarily want to hear from her, but the fact that she is not, and Amber is the one taking to the internet, taking the brunt of this, while she just moves in the background and continues to be active on social media in the ways that she is. Again, that does not make her end of things more believable to me. That's just my opinion. It's all alleged, except for what we do know. But, you know, it's alleged.
Supportive and continue to believe in the truth and don't follow the crowd. I see you, and I'm sorry that the hate and the rumors are louder right now, but I still see you and I love you dearly. To those spreading misinformation, I hope you take a moment to consider the impact your words have and the harm caused when the real victims are silenced or blamed. It's easy for reaction channels to say whatever they want because they know their words have impact and their audience believes whatever is said to them. This situation just proves it. Tommy was majorly abused, held hostage for hours in a garage with a weapon, and I don't feel comfortable saying what the weapon was, but use your brain for this one, please.
If you think people watching reaction channels believe everything that the channels say to them, you have not spent any time at all actually participating in the comment section or chat of any reaction channel, because it's a shit show. People argue all day long. Nobody agrees with anything. Everyone has a different opinion. It is what it is. Nobody believes every single thing, but tell yourself what you got to make yourself feel better about it, I guess.
And she was finally able to escape, and her ex went to prison for it and now has a felony, but somehow this reaction channel was able to manipulate their audience into believing that Tommy is the abuser. This is why victims do not share their story, and the sad thing is, Tommy didn't share hers. Someone else did, and it wasn't even the right story. It's unfair, it's twisted, and it's morally wrong. This isn't a game. This isn't for money. This isn't for views. This is Tommy's real life.
As much as we basically have just this other person's side of the story, because Emily isn't really speaking out, Amber just has Emily's side of the story, really, because let's be real, she's not taking anything that is coming up through a reaction channel seriously as far as the allegations against Emily. You could really easily, in your brain, depending on whether you're Hater Nation or an Am Baby, you can spin this either way. Sure, maybe it is an inclination to just believe the worst. That's certainly possible. That could be it. This could also be some Darvos shit you're going through. That's also a possibility. I seriously doubt you would consider that. And if that was brought up to you, that's not something you're going to look into or take seriously. But I do think that's worth considering here.
That is being ruined and her mental health is being destroyed. The victim blaming, all because people want drama and someone to hate, is the grossest thing I've ever seen happen on Girl World. And thank you, Jordy, for reminding me why I hate this community and why I do not belong here anymore. This should have never happened. I should not have had to do this. Tommy should not have had her personal domestic violence abuse story used for views and money on a reaction channel. That's not a reaction. That is downright hatred. And people wonder why I don't want to upload. People wonder where I am. Why do I seem so sad every time I come on camera? This is why. Because before it was, Amberlynn's so fat. She needs to lose weight. Step on the scale. But now things are serious.
They are serious, and that's what people are reacting to. That's what the reaction channels are reacting to. The extremely serious situation that you are in.
Reaction channels have morphed into something that is despicable. While I'm trying to improve my life and myself as a person and work on my BPD,
prove it.
Reaction channels have gotten worse. They're morphing into monsters. I'm not saying all of them because that's not the case, but there are a few. I should not be kicked off of a platform that I have been on for 11 years because I am this harassed. There is a difference between online.
I can't think of some other reasons for you to get kicked off of this platform.
Hate versus straight up harassment that is destroying mine and my girlfriend's mental health and life. It's not okay. And I don't know what else to say about it. Every time I express myself, I am met with invalidation, and I am gaslighted into feeling this small. I am gaslighted into believing that I deserve this or that Tommy deserves this when we don't. So many of you scream, Tommy isn't good for you, Tommy's gonna hurt you. But it's being screamed by the people who are actively every single day hurting me. You don't care.
This should concern you more. The fact that these are people who aren't necessarily your fans. They're not people who are here because they just love watching you. These are people who respond to the drama that you have created, and they're saying, this is a lot, this is too dark, you're in danger. That should be extra alarming.
You don't care about me.
These are people who have been, not that they don't care about you, but people who have been critical, rightly so, of your actions, your behavior, and they're saying, this is too much, this is, even you don't deserve this. Even you, who we have witnessed do terrible things on your channel over the years. This is too much. Even you, Amberlynn, don't need to be in this situation. That should be extra alarming for you.
You don't care about my well-being. You get high off of the drama that my life brings to your channel.
Nothing is going to improve with your situation on YouTube, any of this, until you come to understand that these criticisms, these concerns, whatever, are not haters just attacking you for the sake of harassing you. That's not what's happening.
So you get views. And for the people watching and engaging in this sort of behavior, you are just as awful. This is a girl that is hurt. This is a girl that has been beaten and beaten and beaten. And it's like, it only just keeps getting worse. And I personally don't know how much more I can take. I truly don't. This sort of behavior should not be allowed on YouTube.
If it was anything for the tea with the reaction channels in Girl World, you wouldn't have situations like you have with Aisha, where she was essentially laughed off of Twitter. She is a laughingstock. Nobody cares what she has to say anymore because she made all these claims. She never really came with the receipts. She got called out for supporting Chantal during the worst of the BBJ situation and did not respond well to being called out for that. If it were truly believing anything and believing anyone for the drama and the tea, regardless of who they were, Aisha wouldn't be a laughingstock at this point. But she is. So, there has to be some hint of a credibility to the source, or they will just become another cow themselves. That's how that happens. Take it for what you will.
And I really hope that one day my voice is heard. If you're currently suffering with domestic violence, there is a national domestic violence hotline that you can call. You are not alone. The number is 800-799-7233, or you can text BEGIN to 88788. Do not let stories like these, like victim shaming or victim blaming, scare you into not getting help, because there are people who are there for you. Use your voice. You are loved and not alone.
Here's what Emily is up to while Amber is making content like what we just watched. Just let that sink in. To me, that just doesn't add up. You can make of it what you will. At a certain level, it is all alleged beyond what we had already learned about Emily and her previous fiance, her late fiance. You can choose to believe Amber. You can choose to believe Jordy. I know what my inclinations are. I can certainly see why people are suggesting that she had some AI assistance at the very least in writing this, or possibly some assistance from Emily in writing this. Again, I'm not saying I want to hear from Emily. I don't really want to see her, but at the same time, it really does seem odd to me that Amber is left to bear the brunt of this on the internet while Emily is voting on these images here.